We are back again to another episode of Tech Talk 360. So today we have a very special guest who have been hunting for some time, and it's none other than Nevindee Amarasinghe. So Nevindee is the founder and CEO of Good PR. Hi Nevindee, how are you doing today?
Hi Rasal, thank you for inviting. It's a pleasure to be here.
So let's start, Nevindee. Who is Nevindee? What can we get from there?
I would say Nevindee is a person who's driven. One thing is with purpose, and she's a very driven person. I would say it's very short and sweet. Yeah.
So Nevindee, if I just ask you this question, can you share from where does this journey start to marketing and hosting events and event management and all about the Good PR? From where does the journey start? If you can give some inspiration from there.
Yes, if I tell you where I started, 15 years ago when I was, of course, doing my A-levels. Before that even I was thinking one day I want to start a business. That's when I really wanted to dive into working. So my father was like, okay, you go ahead, start working somewhere so that you get experience. So I started working at a company, and events was my thing. Started talking to clients, and that's when I really started working. So when I started working towards the last part of my corporate career, there were so many things happening in the country also, but still it was not stopping me. I was thinking, right, let's start your own company, because I did a few ventures before starting Good PR. Now Good PR is a company that I started in 2019, but before that, while working in the corporate field, I did some extra external businesses like a clothing brand, different other things like a communication consultant. Side hustles, right? But that was not a conflict of interest for the companies that I was working, because they knew what I was doing. I mean, if not, it's unfair to work while you're working sometimes. But they let me kind of dive into it. So I just had a thought, okay, let's start with Good PR. This is fine, it's a nice name. And in 2019 October, I registered the company with just 38,000 in my hand, and there was no money at all, no capital. And I started with a couple of contacts that I already had, reached out. That's where I really started. So from that to now, I think there are a lot of stories that I can share, but due to the time factor, I would say a few things.
So Nevindee, I'll just jump into Good PR. So what is actually Good PR, and what is the vision, and how can we say that Good PR, I know about it, but let's just say, how is it special?
It is special because we are not just a public relations company. I would say in Sri Lanka, most of the people, the understanding about PR is quite low and different, right? They don't understand what PR is. They think it's just publishing an article. This is what I say in all my interviews. But I would say people need to understand that PR has more depth, that there's more purpose and vision to it. So when you look into the company Good PR, we work with clients in a very one-to-one manner and very personal. So if the client wants to fix something even in the middle of the night, sometimes the client will not hesitate to call me. They will say, Nevindee, please, can you get this fixed? So it is my job sometimes, it's not an 8 to 5 job. So it is my job to kind of reply to them and then get it fixed. So we are very personal and very relationship oriented, because that's what you call PR. It's managing reputation, but not just 8 to 5. Yeah.
So Nevindee, from all the experience that you have taken until now, and working with these clients and working with in the event industry, there are specific challenges that you have faced. Even like you said, when you started Good PR, there are probably lots of barriers that you face.
Yes.
Let's just say, what are the challenges that normally you face in this industry, and how you actually overcame them?
Yeah. So the basic, let's say the first challenge was actually the financial challenge. Now, you need to have money to do your social media sometimes. You might not know everything, but you need funds to do your social media, to create posts. If you don't have a creative team in-house, you have to outsource it. You have to have, certain funds to do other activities, right? Even if you go to meet a client, you can't ask the client to buy a coffee for you. You have to buy the coffee. So financial issues was, there was financial issues, but that, and also there were some challenges like getting some clients on board, because I was new to the, new to being me as a company. because they have seen me in other companies. They know that's credible. When I work at another place, they know it's credible. So slowly I went for events, did my networking part, and I met a lot of people. So they started supporting me, they started believing in me. The best part of it is that I never stopped believing in myself. I always kept driving. I drive myself to this position. So I think you have to have that, drive behind it.
Definitely. So Nevindee, like you mentioned, I think you mentioned about networking and how crucial is networking.
Yeah.
So what, in terms of good PR, if I just ask, how crucial is actually networking? And when you come to like the current and the future, I think networking plays a huge role in everything that you do. What is networking for you, and how does it play a big role?
Networking actually is your network. That is a quote, right? So just like you said, if you don't have that networking ability and going and talking to another person, it's not just about collecting the contacts. You have to be able to talk to someone at an event. You have to have a little bit of confidence. I mean, sometimes you're like, this is my card, can I have your card? That is not the only conversation. How you create a impression is important when you go for an event, go for a meeting. So that's what I did. So I'll tell you what I did when I went for events. So as a female entrepreneur, when I went for all these events, I carried a card, I carried myself. There was confidence. So I started talking to these people. I said, I started a business. This is my card. If there's any requirement that you have in these areas, please contact me. So I made an impression by, creating a conversation. So that's where really it helped me to boost my networking abilities. And I never stopped, attending for these events up to date. Even now I attend for certain events thinking, okay, there is so much of networking. I mean, I don't know every business person in this country, right?
Yeah.
So I need to go visit events, travel, talk, all these things. So I believe it's very important for you to attend these type of events. Just like I said before starting the interview, it's important for you to go to events.
Definitely. So Nevindee, if I just ask you, in this fast-paced environment, like we have technology now, innovating tech like AI and all that. So how do you see this industry, like the PR media industry, growing like very fastly in few years? And where do you see like the future of good PR, and maybe like something that's new that's happening? What do you say in the industry?
Okay, so if I tell you now, the latest arrival is ChatGPT. So people now think you can write your articles. Yes, you can write your articles, but that doesn't mean you can give a human element or a touch to the article. You can't give that feel ever to something AI generated.
Definitely.
That's why people say, okay, even if you see news anchors on TV, AI generated, these advertisements, certain organizations create advertisements with AI, personalities. Still you feel like it's fake, right? I mean, it's nice, but you don't have that human element to it. So it's good to have some kind of technology that is driving your business, because that's where you're kind of improving your business, let's say, capabilities of your business. Now, for good PR also, how I have, culminated and involved technologies through certain platforms that I'm using for media monitoring. Right? I need these platforms. I need technology to do my business. Without tech, I don't think I can even, turn back and say, hey, this is what. So I believe in tech, and I believe AI plays a crucial role. So for even events, PR, I think it is crucial to have these, AI blend involved. Like ChatGPT is also
definitely.
good. But no harm, we can
definitely.
get the best out of it if you know how to prompt. That's it.
Yeah.
So, but I believe there is a limit, and you need to innovate. If not, your brand will also die. So,
Definitely. So apart from professional industry and the careers, you are someone who loves animals and someone who acts against like animal rights and stuff like that. So what do you share about what's happening? We have seen elephants, and there are lots of critical topics that we can talk. Let's just share your insights on that.
Yes. So for instance, if let's say animal activists now, there are some people in the industry or in the society, I would say, not the industry, they call themselves animal activists. But end of the day, what they do is they will have a shelter, they will try to get funds, but end of the day, the reality is that when you go to those shelters, you really don't see them getting fed properly. They have not been taken care properly. So, I mean, it's good to have people, doing this as a passionate thing and volunteering yourself. So, I know there are a lot of organizations, but let me tell you about one organization that I know. And one of my clients did mention to me that these guys are doing a real good thing about animal care. So this is an organization called We Care. We Care is a lady from UK, Dr. Jamie, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry if I mispronounce her name. These guys are doing a fantastic job, and she's based in down south. Will you believe a UK person, a doctor, she's based in Sri Lanka and doing a free thing voluntarily, right? Vaccination, caring, you name it, everything, right? So what I see is there are people like me, there are people like, Dr. Janie, and if I just mention one more name, I think Guinea Pig in Candy, I think that's her name. On Facebook, she's quite famous. She does rescues and all these things. I mean, she does storytelling in a very nice manner. All these people are there, but everybody is not an animal activist.
Definitely,
so what I can do is to use my voice and communicate to the audience, look here, this is not nice. Even using elephants for these parahana and all, I don't accept. That is my opinion.
Yeah.
But I can't, tell other... Yes, so stop it, right? I can't tell other people to kind of, hey, stop it, think about it. But if you take general facts like, hurting another animal and giving pressure, you have to put yourself into that position and see, that's where you are like, okay, I feel the same. So you need to empathize, and it's important to think how other people feel, how other animals feel. So that's why I call myself, okay, I'm an animal person.
I mean, I just add in a question where just outside professionalism, there should something you should love to do, and that is some amazing insights on that. So Nevindee, if I just ask you, if there is anyone, so we are speaking to the youth, we are targeting the youth. So if there's anyone who wants to, follow in this industry and get into this industry, where do you actually tell them to start? Where does that start happen? Because Nevindee, I actually include this question where we try to inspire the youth, is because many Sri Lankan youth from the small kids itself, they just have those 5 basic jobs that they want to be, the dreams that they have, doctor, engineer, and that's it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more than that now. There's very deep niches that they can, and they have the passion also, but they don't know where to start. So if we can just share some thought on that.
If they want to really start a career in PR, media, events, they need to really, they shouldn't be going and starting a business the first day without experience. It's quite difficult in the industry to survive and to have your own business. I see a lot of young people now, what they do is they work for a company just for a short stint, like a very small time. And they go and open a business and they're like, okay, on Instagram, that's it. It's not the case. You have to have it's good to do a business. It's good to go out and open a business. But what I would tell you is you don't need to wait 10 years like me to start a business. You can start a business in 5 years. That's fine. But you need to know the processes, how you can, learn certain things. And, you need to identify how the economy works. Because end of the day, whatever you're doing, whatever I'm doing, this is a contribution to the country, to the nation, to the economy, right? We are earning and we are, having the money surrounding, it's going around the country. It's not going out of the country, right? So you have to know the landscape of the business that you're doing. You have to know the financial backgrounds. That's why you need to have some kind of insights to your business model, whether it's sustainable. And those who like to get into the PR industry, I would say go to a PR company, start there and learn a little bit as to how the PR functions. It's good to have competitors. I love to have competitors. I mean, I learn from them as well, right? All the competitors in Sri Lanka, like let's say my PR fraternity, I learn a lot through their Instagram, through the events that they do, through the communications, because I can't say that I am the only person in this country who's doing PR, right?
Yeah.
I have to learn, I have to see things, I have to, get experience. Up to date, Rasal, I'm still learning. So I think it's a good advice for them to start somewhere and then learn something, and then slowly, step by step, you get into the business.
Definitely. So, Nevindee, there's this one question that I've been asking from season 1 is that we as a country, maybe we have had downfalls in the recent years. And
Definitely.
So, and we are still, I'm saying we are not in the best, we are like 5 to 10 years behind in when we compare to the other worlds. So, if we say there's a lot of youth migrating to other countries, finding better opportunities. So, if you can say something to the youth of Sri Lanka and what they are actually valuable, and even despite all the political stuff that we have had and all the other stories, you are close to the government, you have been doing some campaigns and all that as well regarding your industry. So what do you actually tell to the youth?
To the youth who are trying to migrate by doing degrees and masters and whatnot, and they only see that potential in other countries. But if you really take our country, Sri Lanka, why I'm here, when there are millions of opportunities for me too that can actually go and give me a boost in other countries, I was thinking, why do I do it when I can improve my economy, my country? I mean, I'm not saying I am a patriotic person. I love my country. Sri Lanka is everything, fine. But, I've been hearing this question from my family sometimes, from my, in-laws and certain other people, saying, Nevindee, why don't you, go to another country, do a job there? What I was saying is, what's so bad in our country that we can't establish a proper business? If this country has proper processes, you take the passport office, you take the ID office, you take the driver's license office. If we can put proper processes, people won't get frustrated. That's where people are frustrated. The government is also, there are issues with the government. If they can put a proper, political arena to it. I'm not going to talk about politics, but, if you can have a process to every single thing in this country, I would say those who are trying to even go abroad will stop and say, no, this is much better. This is my country. There's no freedom that we can really enjoy when you go to another country. You have to either work, you have to study, that's it. So, I'm not saying we are looking for freedom only, but end of the day, as a human being, I would say you need to have some kind of mental peace even if you do a job. Now, I'm doing good PR for the past 5 years. There are some instances that I can't even sleep because financial issues come, COVID, economy issues, transportation issues, but I still keep going, right? So my only thing that I would say is to the audience who are watching us, that if they're trying to go abroad, they can always think, what can they do in this country? It's hard. You start hard only. But if they really want to go and enjoy, get exposure in another country, and if you take America, I know a lot of people, they want to go to the States. They're like, okay, I'm in States. But actually speaking, some of them suffer more than what they're suffering here. Definitely. So it's actually 50-50. I would put it that way. Like some people, they want to get exposed and get exposure in another country. But I would say choose what's best for them. I can't say, okay, don't go, but yeah.
Before we finish off, Nevindee, I also like to take this opportunity that Good PR is partnered with us as the official PR partner for Tech Talk 360. I was just one message away from Nevindee telling Nevindee we are looking for partners and is there any opportunity, and Nevindee was so helpful and she's very kind too. And so let's share some story. What was the purpose behind that partnership?
I would say now when I started, there was not many people who helped me, and I felt that. I felt that in my bones. Like I was like, okay, why am I not getting help? Even recently, now we are doing an event. People are like, when we ask for sponsorships, how people react to it, it's quite sad because you're trying to do something different, and I really like it. So when I look back 5 years ago, there were a few people who helped me. Not that I didn't get help at all. But financially, I'm telling you, when nobody's supporting you, nobody's believing in your concept, it's a bit of a sad part. but that doesn't, put you down, right? Like, you're not going to stop this podcasting tomorrow. You're going to keep going it, even if you have to sell everything, right? I'm telling you, it is actually the purpose and the drive behind. So I saw myself, and that's why I wanted to, okay, let's support, let's do this. So I'm open for that. I'm open to support anyone, even for iCickers, road tractors, the youth, because that's the future. So that's the whole thing. And I believe if someone else believe in what you are doing, you can go a long way.
Thank you so much, Nevindee, for the partnership, and it's a pleasure.
You're welcome.
So, Nevindee, let's just share some final thoughts on the podcast. Is this your first podcast, or you have been to many?
This is my second one.
Second one.
Yes.
Okay, so just let's share some experience on the podcast.
I would say it's nice to be at a podcast, because in other countries it's quite normal. So you guys doing a podcast is quite special. And also, I think consistently, if you guys can do this, it is a winner, because in Sri Lanka there's not many podcasters. But I think my friend who's doing a motorsport podcast, JW Networks, yes, Georgina, she's doing a podcast for 2.5 years without any funds. Will you believe that? So I know how it is actually. So it is on Apple to whatnot. So similarly, I think your podcast is also. So I wish your podcast all the best, and this can go, international. And it is a great start, I would say. And by looking at the content that you have already delivered, there's so much of potential.
Thank you so much, Nevindee, for coming today. I know you are very busy, really hard to catch. Thank you so much, Nevindee, for taking your opportunity and sharing the thoughts. And we'll see you another day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right.
That's another episode of Tech Talk 360, unveiling one bite at a time.